Yeah.
It's very
Oh,
sunny
it's
in
back
York.
on.
I was going to say, it's gorgeous outside here.
Yes, it is. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Yes, the meeting is now streaming live again.
Yee.
Is that correct, Ben?
I'll double check. Sometimes it says that, but it's not actually going through to YouTube. So I'll just confirm.
If you just check it, yeah.
Yes, we are on YouTube again. Apologies for the interruption.
No, that's fine. These things happen. I'm always amazed that we don't have more problems. Anyway, we've all seen Andy's report. We've all listened to Andy. Any comments or questions to him? No? Well, can we agree all the recommendations in the paper? Okay, thumbs up for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andy. And then we go on to the capital spending and project approvals. We haven't got too many, but we have a few. So who's taking the first one, Melanie?
David Gill is going to present on MCA Digital.
Okay, hi David.
Hi, good morning. Hi everyone. So I'd like very briefly to summarise MCA Digital. This would be an internal scheme and it will follow in the footsteps of a recent scheme that's ended called the Corporate Technology Programme, which closed at the end of December. The Corporate Technology Programme has been implementing our corporate technology strategy and transforming the CA into a digital first organisation. It's fulfilled its objectives, the Corporate Technology Programme, to improve how we collaborate and work in a mobile way. And it proved essential in how we respond during the COVID-19 pandemic. But despite the success of the Corporate Technology Programme, as an organisation, we're still some way off becoming a truly complete digital first organisation because of several things. We have obviously, we were in the process of becoming a mayoral combined authority, and this wasn't really known in any detail when the Corporate Technology Programme commenced 2 years ago. We have a number of projects which the Corporate Technology Programme recommended, which now need to be enacted. Technology has changed in the last 2 years, and some of the work that was within the Corporate Technology Programme has had to be delayed, mainly because of the accommodation work within Wellington House. So we've got a new proposal here for an MCA digital programme which will address these things by delivering 13 additional projects. They include things like becoming more efficient through digitisation, being more secure, and rising to the security threats brought about because of COVID and other things, completing our infrastructure transfer into the cloud, a new CRM system for our economic services team, a data platform to improve reporting and operational work and policy work, and also to implement our location intelligence strategy. It's an internal business change programme rather than an investment designed to create economic growth in the region, but it will be done using the ethos and aspirations of the CA, and it will have a transformational contribution towards achieving MCA readiness. So we're seeking that this will now proceed to from decision point 2 to activity 5, which is full business case plus final costs. It is a scheme that has a £1.97 million valuation, and we're looking for 156,000 to get the scheme up and running, and it will then go, if it's approved today, it will then go to the Combined Authority as the next stage. I'm happy to take any questions.
Yeah, thank you, David. Any questions? Jane?
I just want to say thank you for that, and of course we must do that, and we must try and move to digital first as fast as we can. But I was surprised reading the reading the report, that more mention wasn't made of the contribution of digital first to the green and environmental agenda. actually, and that, you know, as part of that, really, digitisation has got a very strong part to play, and that should be emphasised in future papers.
Do you want
Fair
to
point.
comment, David?
Without a doubt, digitisation does have a green benefit. By moving our processing into the cloud, we'll be using more efficient system. I'll mute then. We'll be using more efficient systems and services. We'll be printing less. We'll be travelling less, and I think that it will certainly deliver a green benefit to the organisation.
Thank you. Anyone else? Melanie, are you wanting to come in?
Yeah, Chair, if I could just come in briefly. I mean, this report from here, this will be recommended for approval by the combined authority, and we will make sure that we emphasise those green credentials, because it is a significant feature of the activity, that it is going to be environmentally friendly to do things remotely or electronically.
Yeah. Thank you for that. That's great, Melanie. Thank you. So can we agree the paper? We're all happy with that. Thank you very much. And then the next one is the One City Park at Bradford. Who's doing this?
Rob Tranmer is going to take us through this one, Chair.
Right. Hi, Rob.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Chair. I'm the Programme Manager for the Getting Building Fund, which will create jobs and generate new activity to support West Yorkshire's COVID-19 economic recovery plan. So there'll be a number of projects coming through, and you've seen a couple already. Today I'm going to talk firstly about One City Park, Bradford. The scheme will deliver new office accommodation with commercial space on the ground floor on the site of the former West Yorkshire Police headquarters building at One City Park in Bradford City Centre to address undersupply of high quality office accommodation across the city centre. The council is working with a national developer to design and construct the development at an estimated cost of £28,789,000, and the developer is going to market the accommodation on behalf of the council. The council is committed to underwrite additional capital costs of up to £5 million from its reserves and underwrite all operating costs for a period of up to 30 years. The scheme has the potential to generate up to 452 new jobs and 300 full-time equivalent jobs during the construction phase. The scheme was originally included in the Local Growth Fund but couldn't be delivered within the expenditure timeframes, and therefore we're now putting it forward for the Getting Building Fund. As mentioned, the scheme will cost £28,789,000, of which the combined authority is asked to agree funding of £7,500,000 from the Getting Building Fund and approve the project being progressed through decision point 5. Funding recommendation is also sought for development costs of £1.909 million to enable Bradford City Council to progress the design of the scheme to enable full costs to be identified so that it can come forward later at FBC Plus. So yeah, has anybody got any comments or questions, please?
And thanks, Rob. Anyone? Alex, do you want to comment? You're happy with it, obviously.
Yeah, sorry, I was just pawing at my screen trying to kind of get it to unmute there. Sorry. Yeah, thanks, Chair. Obviously really pleased to see it move to the next stage. We're really pleased to get the funding. Obviously office space is a big debate at the moment, isn't it, with the pandemic, but I think the appetite for home working's perhaps faded now we're into our third lockdown. But one of the things we were always trying to do with One City Park is kind of anticipate the next trends in office space and demand. And it, we knew already it wasn't going to be about huge floor spaces for one big company, what you might think of as a traditional, 90s office block, but about flexible space, which offers a kind of modern space for businesses' needs. And I think those trends we're just seeing accelerate now rather than new trends be created. So I still think it's really vital for Bradford City Centre if we want to be able to attract those businesses. And I know the team at the Combined Authority have worked closely with us to bring in people to the city centre, and the absence of a space like One City Park has held us back in the past. So it'll be good to unlock that blockage and help stimulate more economic growth for the city working with WY&YIC. So pleased to see it go forward, Chair.
Yeah, great. Okay, thank you. And thanks for that then, Rob. Can we all agree this paper? Thank you. Okay. The next one, Kirklees, who's taking this, Melanie?
Yeah, James Bennett is going to present this one, Chair.
Right. Hi, James.
Hi, Hi, it's James here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great, brilliant. I'll make a start. So thanks, Chair. This report here is about the Huddersfield Southern Corridors project. This project sits within the Corridor Improvement Programme, which is within the West Yorkshire Transport Fund. The scheme actually covers 4 locations south of Huddersfield Town Centre. So those include Longroyd Lane, Lockwood Bar, Queensgate and Folly Hall. There is a map enclosed in Appendix 4. So what are the reasons for why are we proposing this scheme? So there is quite bad congestion in the area south of the town centre, with quite bad journey times that vary quite a lot during the different times in the day. So it does create quite a issue with, for example, scheduling bus journey times and people's expected journey time. As a consequence of that, there is poor air quality and carbon dioxide emissions from engines idling in traffic and so forth. Also, due to congestion, it does limit and blocks opening up new areas for housing and development land. So the scheme that's been put forward, it does significantly improve cycling, bus, walking improvements throughout the areas. So, for example, there is significant enhanced provision for pedestrians and cyclists on Queensgate. So that will reduce the severance between the town centre and university area. It'll also make the junction much more pedestrian friendly in that area. It'll also increase the amount of segregated cycle routes with super highway level of provision. So it'll also make it a lot more attractive public realm. Also, for example, at Lockwood Bar, there are new crossing facilities and green infrastructure. So, for example, things like crossing facilities will be helped by pavement widening. There'll also be enhanced bus stop facilities on Lockwood Road. Also on Longroyd Lane, there'll be widening and upgrading of the footway, including new signalised control crossing facilities. So overall, it'll increase the attractiveness of the active mode provision in those areas. So looking at what are the forecast results of the scheme, the Corridor Improvement Programme has set a target that there'll be an increase in journey times, a reduction in journey times of 8% for all modes. This scheme actually models that it should reduce journey times by 20% for all modes throughout the areas where the work is being undertaken. Also, the improvements in walking and cycling will look to, it's going to increase pedestrian footfall by 35% in those areas and the number of cyclists by 75% south of the town centre within 5 years of opening. So it's got a really good set of outcomes. Also, there's going to be reductions in greenhouse gas carbon dioxide emissions throughout the area due to speeding up traffic and encouraging the modal shift to the different active modes that we've mentioned there. Timescale wise, we're looking to get onto site if approved throughout 2021. It is a phased set across the 4 schemes for their development and implementation. So elements look to complete some at the start, some at the end of 2021 through to the final phases completing in 2023. The scheme does have a high benefit to cost ratio of 7.9 to 1, which is classed as very high value against the DFT's value for money criteria. So overall, the decision that's been asked today is that we have approval to proceed through from the current decision point 4, which is FBC, and for work to continue on activity 5, which is FBC plus costs. The total value of the scheme is £13.57 million, and the combined authorities contributing £10.4 million. Today, though, we're actually not asking for any increased funding. They have enough funding already approved to get them through to FBC plus development. We're looking to delegate the decision for the FBC plus approval if approved today, and costs stay within tolerances. So overall, it's to move from decision point 4 to 5 for FBC plus development. Thanks, Chair.
Okay, thank you, James. Any comments? Jane?
Chair, just a very quick one. Strongly support this and very much recognise the descriptions of the various pinch points within Huddersfield and to the south and the west that, excuse me, this is designed to tackle. All of these schemes are really needed, so I would strongly support this.
Thank you for that, Jane. Thank you for that, Jane. Can we agree this scheme? To move it forward. Thank you very much. Thanks for your presentation, James.
Thank you. Cheers, Chair.
Okay, and we have another Bradford scheme, Park Lane Enterprise Zone. Who's taking this, Melanie?
Yeah, this is a double act between Rob Trammer and Sarah Brook. So they'll both introduce elements of the scheme.
Okay, who's going first then?
Hi, Chair. Yeah, that's me. Can I just refer back to the previous project at Wanted Park, because I mistakenly said pass through decision point 5 when it should be decision point 4 to enable to work on getting through decision point 5.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, thank you.
I think we understood that, Rob.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that was clear. So apologies for that. Parallel Enterprise Zone. This is a combined authority project being delivered direct in conjunction with Bradford. And the scheme will provide the enabling works for the development of the Parry Lane site into a regional enterprise zone with an overall objective of unlocking, enabling and accelerating site development to deliver economic growth. Approval is sought from the Investment Committee for getting building fund for the enabling works, local growth deal funding for pre-construction works, and a biodiversity project has already been approved by the Managing Director. The scheme was previously approved at OBC for local growth deal funding, but is now being put forward for GBF for the second part of the project. So if I can introduce Sarah, who's going to talk about the detail. Sarah is the project manager.
Okay, Sarah, when you're ready.
Good morning, everyone. Just a little bit of detail for you. The site is adjacent to the Bowling-Bat Lane Business Development Zone in Bradford, and the development of the Parry Lane Enterprise Zone will provide much needed commercial space with excellent transport connections. And as Rob mentioned, the scheme's a partnership between the landowner, Bradford Council, and the combined authority who will deliver it. The site requires significant remediation, and as a result, it's been derelict for over a decade. Investment in the highways infrastructure is required, and local growth deal funding will be used to fund a local biodiversity project. In addition, there'll be local community initiatives as part of the contract with Balfour Beatty. So these works will be implemented in 2 stages. The early enabling works, utilising 1.88 million from the local growth deal fund, and the main civil engineering works will utilise just over 5 million from the Getting Building Fund, subject to approval of the full business case plus costs. But this investment will provide a site attractive to future developers and a catalyst for jobs and economic growth in the area. The completed commercial scheme, which will be circa March 2025, has the potential to deliver approximately 11.9 thousand square metres of commercial space, accommodate 489 jobs, and generate 166 million in GVA. So that's the key headlines, if there's any questions.
Okay, thanks, Sarah. Any questions?
Could I just make a comment, Chair, in relation to, and while supporting this particular site as part of the 9 sites that make up the phase 2 of the Enterprise Zone project, all around or adjacent to the M62, just to make the point for I think reference to others, that these are some of the most difficult sites that exist in West Yorkshire and have remained derelict and undeveloped for not just a year or 2, but perhaps a decade or 2 or 3. And so I'm very keen that we do our level best to bring not only this one, but all of those forward for the reasons outlined by Sarah. And I just wanted to share that context just for the benefit of particular sites approval, if we so give it.
Yes. Alex, do you want to comment?
Yes, thanks, Chair. And just agree with what Roger was saying as well. So obviously pleased to see the enterprise zones steadily move forward. And obviously for a few of us who've sat on this committee for a few years now, we sort of see the story of them come, and it's good to see them get to more of a delivery stage and preparation stage. So good to see it come to full business case. We know there's a huge demand for employment space across the region actually, which is why this sort of the whole programme for enterprise zones was so good, but particularly in Bradford. And to be able to deliver this around our business development zone area kind of helps that strategic case for growth as well. So pleased to see it move forward.
Yeah, I think so. I think we've all got sites in our areas that have been derelict for years, and it's great that things start to happen. And it's more important than ever now that these schemes come forward and that we keep moving with our programme, really to benefit our districts. So I think it's great news. So can we agree that? Okay, thank you. And then the lead scheme, the infamous Regent Street.
Yes, Chair. Andy Norman's
we need much debate on this. Yeah.
Yeah. And Andy Norman's going to take us through this one briefly. Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, Andy.
Hello again.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. Okay, so this is the A64 Regent Street Bridge. As part of the Leeds City Centre package, the scheme has come straight to full business case plus costs. So the structure has previously undergone 2 major refurbishments in 1996 and 2002. However, it still suffers from several problems, most notably deterioration of the load-bearing capacity of critical elements of the bridge. The continued deterioration of the structure could risk closure of the bridge as early as 2022 and the commencement of other works across the city over the next 12 months. And therefore, intervention has been required to preserve the long-term resilience of the A64 in a ring road and also the wider city centre network. Extensive feasibility work has concluded that the most cost-effective and beneficial solution is to replace the existing structure, and those works are actually underway. Applications were made to government, but unfortunately funding wasn't secured through the DFT, through the Challenge Fund. Members at the Investment Committee of the 9th of June 2020, as part of the Armley Regulatory Scheme paper, recommended that the Combined Authority continues to explore the scope of the Leeds City Centre package programme to include the Regent Street flyover scheme due to the issues with the funding coming through from the DFT. In order to avoid any risk to delivery of the existing City Centre package programme, it's proposed that 12 million is made available from the West Yorkshire Plus Transport Fund to provide some gap funding to the project it now becomes part of the Leeds City Centre package. To support delivery timescales, the scheme has come forward directly at full business case with finalised costs at decision point 5. And it's also worth noting that this is included within the Transport Fund review paper that was presented earlier today. In terms of timescales, the project was in contract in May 2020, and the start on site commenced in May. Demolition works have also commenced, and work is continuing and looking at completion for spring 2022. The scheme will secure the long-term resilience of the flyover, support the delivery of public transport, active mode, and public realm enhancement schemes across the city centre, so from lip tip, and also the city, the other schemes within the city centre package. And it will directly facilitate a multimodal low-emission transport system through that. The scheme will also seek biodiversity gains through urban landscaping and green infrastructure features, such as rainwater gardens and a sustainable drainage system and tree planting. The scheme supports inclusive growth by procuring local labour and making a social investment to boost the city region economic growth. And through regenerating a major piece of public infrastructure, it will facilitate business growth through attracting investment. The value for money assessment reflects a benefit cost ratio of 9.9 to 1, judging the scheme's very high value for money. The total scheme cost is 31 million, the funding made up of the proposed 12 million from the Transport Fund, 1.5 million from the Highway Maintenance Challenge Fund, 4.6 million from the local transport plan, and 12.9 million which will be funded by Leeds City Council, while other sources of funding continue to be explored. and the project will become part of the Leeds City Centre package, which will be increased by 12 million from 66.8 million to 78.8 million. And the costs will be managed within the Leeds City Centre package. So in terms of the decisions we're looking for today, we're asking the investment committee recommends to the combined authority that the A64 Regent Street Bridge Leeds City Centre package scheme proceeds through decision point 5 and work commences on activity 6, which is delivery. Approval to the combined authority's contribution of 12 million to be funded from the West Yorkshire Plus Transport Fund is given with a total scheme value of 31 million. Approval to increase the Leeds City Centre package programme budget by 12 million from 66.8 to 78.8 million. And that the combined authority enters into a funding agreement with Leeds City Council for expenditure of up to 12 million from the West Yorkshire Plus Transport Fund. And that future approvals are made in accordance with the assurance pathway set out in the report.
Okay, thanks for that, Andy. We have debated this on a number of occasions, so I don't really think we need to have any more debate on this. So can we agree the recommendation? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Andy. The next item is hopefully good news. Who's doing this, Melanie?
Yeah, David Shepherd is going to take us through this.
Okay, David, are you there?
He seems to have actually dropped off at the moment. Lauren, do you want to start off on this one?
He's just been kicked off, so he's trying to get back on now, unfortunately. So I don't know if
you take it then, Laura.
Yeah. Bear with me 2 minutes. So the project is a grant application to the Strategic Investment Fund for 2 million to bring forward investment into Leeds City region. The applicant has forecasted that by 2026, the business will create 400 full-time jobs and an additional 400 part-time jobs. But for the purpose of the application and owing to the end of growth deal, the applicant will commit to create 157 of these jobs before March 2023. The average salary across the company will be approximately £36,000 a year, which is well above both the UK and city region average. The workforce will include manufacturing, technicians, R&D staff, graduate engineers, managers and senior managers. In terms of the impact of the scheme, the applicant will commit to 7 inclusive growth outputs. It will leverage private sector investment of 11.66 million and the potential return for investment is high. So based on the creation of 157 jobs, there is a cost per job of 12,738. However, when the additional 243 full-time jobs are considered, that would reflect a cost per job of £5,000. These are skilled roles, and for the combined authority, the cost for these staff will be significant, which will have significant multiplier effects on the local economy. In terms of the total cost of the scheme, the current total forecasted cost is about 13.666 million. The combined authority contribution is 2 million, which will be funded by the Strategic Investment Fund, and the remainder of the cost will be funded by the applicant business. The decision that we're looking for from Investment Committee is that the combined authority on the 10th of December 2020 delegated approval of the SIF pipeline project, and this is project 5 of that pipeline, to Investment Committee. The scheme is considered by Business Investment Panel, and I'm aware that some of the members here also sit on Business Investment Panel, which has been recommended for approval. So it is recommended that Investment Committee approves that the project proceeds into delivery.
Okay, thanks for that, Lauren. Any comments? Any questions? We all happy with that report? Is that agreed? Thank you. And the next one is the Parry Lane Enterprise Zone again, is this?
It's just for information, Chair, that there are a number of schemes that were delegated since you saw them last.
Oh, yes, yeah. So we don't actually need to go through them again. No. Okay. So if we can note those, and that concludes the agenda for that. So we go on now to the item 9, the Elite City College, Quarry Hill.
Yes, Chair. So Liz Courtney is going to present this item. Obviously, there is an example.
Will really kind of help generate the regeneration in that area of the city. We are now moving the project through into project closure and into the benefits realisation to ensure that we get more students using the college. And as part of that process, we ask that you seek recommendation for the approvals at item 7. So 7.1 is that you note the recommendation that the project is going through to closure now, and we're going to benefits realisation, and we seek approval of recommendation at 7.2 that sets out an option in the exempt report. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Liz. Yeah, sorry, Melanie.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Chair, just to clarify, it's to recommend option 1 in the exempt annex.
Yes, I was going to say that. Yeah, I'm glad you reminded me. Yes, can we agree this paper, and can we agree option 1 in the exempt paper? We are happy with that. Thanks very much. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Liz. Okay, and then the last item is the ESF. So who are you dealing with this, Melanie?